So with Hypnobabies, for those of you who are interested, it is they tell you to prepare for about 5 to 6 weeks. By the time I had decided to do that with my third, I only gave myself 4 to 5 weeks, but that was enough for me. But if you are interested in it, it's typically best to start at like 32 or 33 weeks, so you really have enough time to practice every night. Angela says, I have 2 kids, never been in labor, only had a C-section. So Melissa, who is my blog partner on My Mommy Style, does all C-sections, and she will tell me, she's like, I love C-sections, you just schedule it, you go in and get it done. And it's been a really awesome thing for her. And that wasn't what she had necessarily planned on doing. She tried to deliver her baby with an epidural the first go around, and she wasn't able to. And so with the first one, she did a C-section, and every child after needed to be done that way because she has such a narrow pelvis. So you just never know. You never know going into it. So the first few questions I would ask yourself if you are thinking about going natural is your motivation. Why are you, or if you're going unmedicated, is what's your motivation for wanting to try to do that? Because when I spoke with the nurse, she said, the people that I see that have the most success with this are those that are committed to it themselves, that they've put in practice and that they understand that it's a journey. And if you're going into it thinking, maybe I will, maybe I won't, she says it just doesn't work out very well. Now, with that being said, it's kind of like homework. Hypnobabies is kind of a homework situation because you are prepping on a nightly basis, and there's different tracks that you listen to and things that you do. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the videos that I do after this one. But it is a process that you kind of have to commit to, so that when you get into the hospital, you're prepared to do it that way. And if things mix up and it doesn't work out that way, that's okay. You still have the tools that you can use to practice with your mind to relax and to be calm, and using your mind to let go of the fear of birth, which is powerful for any woman. Christy Lynn says, so smart to be prepared for the pain. I wish I would have done this. My twins came fast, and I was being wheeled through the hospital screaming, my uterus is not a flower, because that's the only thing I had ever heard. Yeah, Christy Lynn, that's exactly what this is all about. So I have been there, sister. I have been the yelling, screaming, in pain woman. I have so been there. And it's incredible that through going through this process of preparing for labor, my husband thought I was sleeping when I was delivering my third and my fourth child, because it was just such a different approach to it. So one thing that you want to do, no matter who you are or how you are planning to deliver your child, is to avoid media that has to do with labor. Anything that shows labor in a way that makes it seem scary, or I love the show called The Midwife. You should not be watching that if you're pregnant. I know it seems like you should, but a lot of their situations that they show are really extreme or like scary or different things like that, and that's just not a healthy headspace to be in when you're pregnant and thinking about labor in general. Another thing you should avoid are movies like Father of the Bride 2, or gosh, I can't even think of any TV show that shows someone in labor that doesn't make it seem like the most horrific situation that could ever happen in the world. So what you want to do is really protect what you're bringing into your body mentally, and just with people around you. In Hypnobabies, they call it creating a circle of peace, so that you actually, if someone starts to tell you horror stories or make you feel scared of birth, that you're actually, this is what they teach you, you're actually supposed to hold up your hand and say, stop. I am creating a safe space for my baby to come into this world, and I can't listen to that story right now. I'm trying to protect the way that I feel about labor. And essentially, it sounds really weird, and I haven't done this exactly, but when I was pregnant and preparing for labor, I really did put forth that effort of letting people know that I didn't want to hear all the scary stories, which I know a lot of women love to share their birth stories, but for you as a pregnant woman, it's not something you need to hear. It really isn't. So you can do that however tactfully you feel is best. But I think no matter how you're preparing to deliver your child, avoiding stories or movies or things like that that make you feel fearful is just a good idea. Just to avoid it. Just keep it at arm's length. Yeah, 100. So one thing that you can also do when preparing for natural birth is deciding who your partner will be when you are in labor, and helping them to help you keep a positive view of it. So as you start to doubt yourself, because you will, it's just scary to think about, because that's the way we've thought of it. I compare labor to a marathon. For some people, they strive to run and train the race, which is comparable to unmedicated labor. However, some want to hop in the car and complete race with an epidural. Yes! And that, I mean, honestly, there are pros and cons both ways. I think the epidurals are incredible, and had it worked well for me, I would have never even considered this other option. And after going through it, I thought, gosh, why didn't I hear more about this? Why weren't there people talking about this to me, that it could be a really great option? I missed a comment. Oops. Let's see. Leslie said, so when you did hypno, did you actually not feel pain, or is it you just know how to control it and keep yourself calm? Okay, so that's a good question. So I will say there are two main stages of labor and different types of pain. And when you're dilating, I would associate the pain I felt with that to maybe a period, like where I was able to breathe through it, and I would not say I was in pain. Very comfortable. I was able to lay and keep very still and calm, not in pain at all. When you are transitioning and the head is starting to crown, yes, I felt pain at that point, but it was manageable. And it was at a point where I was able to use the tools that I had practiced to help me get through that. But yes, oh yes, I felt that head come through. There are people that will tell you like, oh, I don't feel a thing. And I believe that. If they say that that's how it was for them, I believe it. But for me, the ring of fire is real. And that part of labor was different, where I did associate what I was feeling with pain. The actual labor, no. The actual crowning of the head, yes, but it was very short-lived. So because I had delivered a baby before, I think that part was a lot quicker and easier for me. But that could be something that you would want to consider your pain tolerance level. And maybe if you've had a baby before, I think that helps. But everyone explains it a little differently. And if you want to watch my video on YouTube, you can. I don't have that transition part on video. At that point, my husband was right in it with me, because that's at the point where you would tell your partner, you need to keep me focused. And they actually help you practice with things that they'll say to you, and the keys that you have in place so that you get through that. And it's not as unmanageable when you have someone there kind of helping you focus in that very end point, because that is where you really need to apply those tools. So yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, during the labor part, like my husband films me and he's like, oh my gosh, is she sleeping? I had my mom in the room and she got really bored. They were both just on their phones. It was really kind of a funny thing. But at the very end, I feel like they were able to be a very active part of my labor, because I was very aware of feeling what was going into my body and what I needed and in those moments of actually delivering the baby, which is so powerful and wonderful. And I think it's been one of those most empowering moments of my life, to be able to prepare for that and then know exactly what was going on in my body, to have the people around me kind of help me in those last minutes of getting the baby. So pregnancy or delivery number 3 and 4, I had prepared with Hypnobabies and put in, I would say, 4 to 5 weeks the first time. And then with my second one, my 4th baby, I had done it before, so I really just put in about 3 weeks of prep that time, because I had done it before. So I felt like I could kind of skip over a few of the parts of just kind of understanding how you get through the process of training your mind and listening to the hypno tracks at night. So actually when I'm in labor, what I do is I'll keep an earbud in, listening to the track as I'm delivering, and I'll keep one out so I can talk to the people around me. You're not like when people hear Hypnobabies or hypnosis, it's not like you're totally like unaware of what's happening to you or the people around you. I could talk with the people around me, but but yeah, it was kind of that situation where I'd keep one ear in listening so I could kind of stay in that zone and then also be able to interact with people around me. So Megan says, make sure the nurse knows to hold up your legs. She's teasing me because the first time I did Hypnobabies, when I go into transition, and this is just me personally, and you may find for you it's different, but my body, I don't know why, because it didn't do this as much the last time, but my body felt like lead. Like I could not lift my leg. And because I was in that transition, I wasn't very good at verbalizing what I needed, which I got better at the next time. But it is good to have someone there to help lift up your legs. So thanks for that tip, Megan, because that was super helpful for me. So the second time around, I knew what to expect, and I had my mom right there, and I'm like, I need you in my face, like holding up my leg and just to be right there in the moment with me. And that was really powerful. Me too must be genetic. Oh, really? That's interesting. So Janice was saying that that's how it is for her too. I have heard that it's because of all of the blood going to your body so that you can help push out the baby, that in that transition time you're kind of shaky and you can't like move your body as well because you're delivering a baby. At least that's what happened to me. I don't know. So if some of you have experienced that, that's just kind of how it was for me. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for any questions, and then the videos that I do in the next few weeks, I'm actually going to be going through what you can expect in the preparation of Hypnobabies week to week, how it works, what it's like, and then you can ask me questions from there. And I know that this is so specific to birthing in general, because there are so many ways that healthy babies are brought into this world, medicated and unmedicated. But for me, I feel like this is such an undiscussed topic that it's cool to talk about too. And I wish that I would have had more people talking to me about it so that I could know what to ask or who to go to, or maybe what the process is of getting through a natural or an unmedicated birth. So if any of you have questions, I would love to hear. So Ashley says, I have 4 kids and I have had 3 epidurals. My last one, 4th kid, I had no choice. I had to go natural and it hurt like hell. I was swearing, screaming in the car. It was funny. I got to the hospital and I was 10 centimeters. Oh, you were going through it. So you've been there. If you ever have a baby again and you applied these tools of Hypnobabies, of getting through it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's life-changing. But oh my goodness, going unmedicated, not on purpose, is so hard, because I've been there. And Ashley, oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. It's horrifying, really. And I missed another comment. You're awesome. Thanks for talking about this to everyone. Oh, thanks, Leslie. I appreciate your questions and everything. It's such a personal topic to come and talk about, but I feel like I'm so passionate about it that I think that it's something that a lot of women can benefit from, no matter how they choose to go about their labor. So thank you. That really means so much to me. So that is something that, if whether or not you decide that going natural is for you or unmedicated, I think it's something that as a general populace, we can open up to each other and just be more open to it. And I think medicated is totally and completely fine. I love hospitals. I love doctors. I love medicine. I'm not against it. And I don't think women are any less than for any way that they choose to deliver their baby. I'm just so thankful that we live in a society now where so many healthy children can come to this world. It really is such a miracle.